Let's see. Well, I'm not. Let me. I got to change screens. So hopefully, everyone will follow over here. Alrighty there. So, uh, that was embarrassing. There's that one. Did it not go to? Why am I not seeing it on my? I'm not seeing it on anything. I'll just mess around with this while you guys get back in. Tell everybody that we're back up. I guess like, subscribe, and share. So it just automatically, yeah, it has the uh, same deal. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. All right, guys. I screwed up. I was. That's what I get with my big fat fingers. I guess I was trying to put in photos and things of this nature, and then that's what happened. So, but I'm gonna do it again. I'm not gonna let that stop me. So there. I'll just be more careful this time. What I was trying to say, and what I was trying to do, I was trying to shrink this down a little bit. I think is what I was trying to do. I was trying to move it and shrink it down a little bit. What I just wanted to show was you can see the breakdowns there of who voted for Mamdani and who voted for Cuomo, basically. And you see the dark brown; those are the boroughs of, I guess, the Bronx and Brooklyn. So thank you very much, Brooklyn. That's what I was trying to do, just so I could do that. That's why. All right, let's see. Hopefully, we're not. It says transmission is unstable due to weak network connection. So hopefully, we're not. It looks like it's getting glitchy. I don't know. Sorry about that. All right, so now I got to do everything all over again, I guess. Welcome back, though. I'm glad you guys found me. We'll, and for some reason, my iPad is super slow today. It's super slow. I'm trying to get things done, and it's just taking forever for stuff to come up. Very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. I hate slow internet. We're in 2025 now. There should be no such thing as slow internet. On the planet, it should all be blazingly fast. Good. Yeah, that must be. We've already talked all about the different Wi-Fi solutions and everything else. We've already gone. Yeah. I'm beginning to wonder if I even have an internet connection, but on my iPad. But I do. I guess finally, it's just really slow today. Super slow. All right, so we got Damon Dogs back in. Roxanne came over. Mr. Spock is here. Mad Max, Slava Ukraini. There's Jolie. Nick Rich, like number 5. Hit the like again, guys. 10 watching, 10 thumbs up. So we're at a perfect balanced budget. We've balanced the budget. Mad Mac, Brooklyn is not in the chat. Well, maybe she'll see this later and see that I shouted out to her for her around in the general. Yeah, David, I'm not going to be there long. Let's see. Nick Rich, AM 9, Belfast Bob 9. There's Sandy Foltz. Sandy Foltz came back. Thanks for finding me again. Mad Mac, I still think wearing a tinfoil hat would help your signal. I just might try that. I might resort to that. Roxanne Epstein restarted and glitches stopped. That's weird. You got to always do that, huh? It seems like. Sandy Foltz, my apartment is cleaned. That's good. That is not good. I think cleanliness is next to godliness. Roxanne Epstein, Brooklyn, SJU is hope to. Belfast Bob, I go bring me Mammy's washing in. What happened? Oh, my fat finger hit the end button, and it ended. It worked. The end button works. It ended the show right away. Hey, Jen the Base, Trojan, I was lost without you. You didn't write sarcasm in the post there, so now I'm confused. David in Grand Prairie, Texas says Truck Stop Shower Chat Podcast, laughing out loud. Robert Perez is here from down San Diego way. Hey, Robert, good to see you. Oh, you're back? Cool. Yeah. David Dog, hey, Jen up the base. Belfast Bob, no prob. All right, so I'm caught up. We were just to kind of, I guess, start off where I left off. I was talking about, I think it's important that people like Representative Al Green introducing articles of impeachment against Trump. I think that's important, even though it won't go anywhere with this Republican-led Congress. I still think that's important to do those things. And I was congratulating, you can see there, Zohan Mandani for winning the primary. I think he's going to win the general. So that's basically all where we were at in the show. Just talked about those two things. And after that, it's just up to you guys. Where do you want to go? We're going to talk about. We can talk about anything. This is an open forum. We can talk about just about anything under the sun. That's right. Anything under the sun, we will talk about. Sandy Foltz, do you know if the apartment is still available or did they give it to someone else? Well, as of yesterday, it was still available. I talked to the lady there yesterday. Just update her on, I'm still waiting to get final approval on the Jen of the base. I'm working with some green crack this week. Crack kills, my friend. So be careful. Robert Press, Johnny, can you put your fat fingers on a diet? What, you want me to go on a diet? It's kind of weird. Damon Dog says, ooh, that's a great strain. I'm kicking with Northern Lights. Oh, this is Pot Talk. Here we are, Pot Talk. Welcome to this week's edition of Pot Talk, a subject that I really don't give a fuck about. So, David in Grand Prairie, Texas says, Jolie, hello. Not the sparkler, hello, dare. Laughing out loud. I don't know what that means. Well, I think is it the International Court? Is it the ICC? I think they've charged like Netanyahu with war crimes. I don't know if they've charged Trump or not, or extradition power, or what, so, it's not, The Hague's not in our country, so they don't have much power to do anything, really. I mean, they do. I mean, they hanged a bunch of Nazis, right? So I think, right. Transit in the new Uber. Am I glitching again? Am I? It looks like I'm. Roxanne says I like the Northern Lights too, but don't tell TJ he don't give a fuck. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about pot strains, but you guys you're free to talk amongst yourselves and all your pot talk. I don't give a fuck about it. But see, I was talking about Nick Rich about transportation. The thing with they, I can't use they anymore. Um, they don't now. They've stopped where they don't let you park the vehicles where I work anymore. They've taken that off their map. I have a feeling that management there didn't like, and I'm pretty sure I don't have any facts to back this up, but I'm pretty sure that maybe management complained or something, so they just took it right off the map. I can't park the car there anymore. So, and the nearest place is kind of it looks like it's kind of a far walk. I mean, it might not be too far, so I might try it. It looks like it's probably less than a mile than where it is. It's just when it's really hot, I kind of don't like walking in the heat, but I think I could park it within a mile. I haven't tried it yet, and I'm not even sure actually. It might be even further than that because they've changed the map around. So, but they made it so you can't park there. You can't park the car there. I mean, I could park it there on standby, and I kind of was doing the math on that. It comes out to if you're on standby, it's 5 cents a minute. I believe that comes to $3 an hour. I think my math is right. And let's say I worked 8 hours, that's going to cost me $24 just to park the car there. And so it's really not worth it to do that. Because I could do that. You could put it on standby, and then the car will still be there, but then you're being charged for that standby time. So anyhow, I probably won't be using Vay. I might try it today and see how long that walk is, because by going by the map of where you can park, it looked like it was less than a mile away, and you have to walk around, and it's kind of weird. So I might do that, but if not, I'll be using Uber probably, or get another a bus pass. I just don't like the bus because the bus takes so long. I hate taking the bus. I hate spending over an hour to do something that takes less than 20 minutes. And if I just drive myself, or even with Uber, um, I just hate it. WW, yes, you are here. Damon Dog, Jack Smith is back at the Hague too. They may have been in the same building. I don't know. MJ Daniels here from up in Washington State. MJ says, "Hope this guy is better than the last couple of NYC mayors. He does not sound too bad." I'm willing to give him a shot. I mean, I don't live there, so it's not really that. Who am I to say? But um, I guess theoretically or whatever, I'm willing. I'm willing to give the guy a chance. I think he's definitely better than any of the choices that between Cuomo and Adams. I mean, those are two pretty corrupt individuals, in my opinion. And Curtis Sliwa, the Republican choice, he's a sleazebag. I mean, he was the one that kind of. I think he was one of the founders of was it Guardian Angels, which I really never really had too much of a problem. He came out of that. His popularity grew out of that, and he did start doing. I remember seeing him on talk shows and politics, and he's really just a right wing nut job. He's a nutbag. So hopefully going to win, and I certainly don't think he could be any worse than any of those candidates. Yeah, it looks like we're probably if we're doing a lot of buffering. It says it's very glitchy. Um, Sandy Fold says the bad thing about weed, the government should never have made it legal. You smell that crap everywhere. I don't really smell it. I know. I mean, I do smell it sometimes on the strip or something. Um, or I guess if you're walking around and someone's smoking it, but I don't know. I haven't really noticed it being that big of a problem to me. W says vape doesn't smell. Yeah, but people aren't just vaping; they're smoking blunts and joints and things of this nature. Robert Perez says, "I love smelling that crap, laughing out loud." See, that's the thing. When you're a smoker, whether it's cigarettes or pot, it's like you become immune to it, and then you don't. And then when someone says, "God, that stinks," you get offended by it because you don't smell it, and you're just so used to it. And then people who quit smoking, then they realize it. They're like, "Oh yeah, I know what you mean." Damon says, at Sandy Falls, I consider that a good thing, but I understand other people don't like the smell. Yeah. So maybe pot smokers need to be a little more considerate of where they're blowing their smoke. David, no, that's crazy. $24 work. Yeah, that would be like if I worked at 8 hours. That's if I worked 8 hours. A lot of times, I might go over 8 hours, or it might be, whatever. So that's why what I was doing before is, I would just park it and in the ride. So I wasn't paying for the parking. You just in the ride, and then it just parks there. And then it's if someone else rents it, they would rent it and take it, or if not, and a lot of times all three of those cars would be sitting there when I got back at the end of my shift, and so it was really cool. It was really convenient. But now they've taken the that spot away where you can't park in that area anymore. And I even wrote them a note um, on the app. There's a thing where you can write to them, and I just said, you guys are of no further use to me since you took away that parking spot. You're dead to me now. Basically, is what I said. Sandy Folks says, "Do you remember that?" Sorry to hear that, Sandy. That's pretty sad. Damon Dog 1 day Metro Pass in DC is $15. Yeah, I can get a 30-day bus pass. I think it's $60. I don't have it right now. It might expire, but yeah, you can go online. You can get bus passes. I mean, that is the cheapest way to go. 60 or $65 for a month versus every time I take Uber, if I take it there and back, I'm looking at anywhere from $40 to $50. For both trips. That's why I like Vay, because Vay, uh, like there and back would be about probably $14. So it was a big savings. But yeah, the cheapest way, the best way to go economically is the bus for me. That would be the best way. But like I said, I just hate that it takes an hour, sometimes an hour and 20 minutes. Like if you miss a bus or something, like you just missed it, that could add another 20 to 30 minutes to the thing. So the bus sucks. And then what I have done a few times is, take an Uber there to work. I mean, take the bus to work and then take an Uber back home. And that's at least, a little bit cheaper. Hey, Danny Berry Sports Highlights is here. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on into the driver's lounge. Belfast Bob, was that a self-driving car you posted yesterday? Yeah, on that short, that was a completely, it's a driverless car. So yeah, it's self-driving because there's no driver in it. That's called Zooks. And they've been testing here in Vegas for years and years and years now. Now they have the actual little cars on the road. They're not actually they're not actually up and running yet. Most of them are empty because they're still testing. And then if there is people in it, I believe they are just employees, and they're letting employees use it. Um, in furtherance of their testing, and so they can actually have people in them and stuff. But 99.9 of the ones I see, they're empty and they're just driving around because they're still just trying to build up hours. They've had a couple wrecks, and they need to get so many hours, I think, without wrecks before they can get the full approval to have the app up and running and where people can just get the ride on the app. But it's completely self-driving. There's no driver. There's no steering wheel. There's nothing. All it is, you go in. There's just like two bench seats, and I think there is a keypad. I mean, I think you put your destination in on the app. Is how you would do it. I think there's a keypad in there. I think you can play music, certain music that you like. There might be a way to, if there's an emergency, where you could call from that pad, or call uh, the company or whatever. That's it. David Greffer, Texas. Sounds like folks are getting ready for the last 4th of July before the grand renewal of our democracy in 2026. 1776 to 2026, American Revolution. Guess really every day renewal of democracy is needed. Well, we definitely need, we Democrats definitely need to take back our country. We need to send the Republicans packing. We need to get back control of our Congress, at the very least. MJ Daniel says, just got a Blazing Saddles flashback. Yeah, you can't park that animal here, Mongo. Wham. Yeah. Nick Rich, 12 noon, so I'm 8 minutes behind. MJ Daniel says, I like the joke Colbert made about the election. Time to choose the most hated in the general right-wing nut job. Caleb Guillory is here, and Caleb Guillory disagrees with you, W, or Wes. I forget which one's in. Caleb says the vapes do smell, and they do, actually. I mean, maybe that's because they have scented ones. Maybe they're supposed to smell. Maybe they have unscented ones that don't smell. I don't know. But that's why I don't allow vaping in the cab, because we can't have the cabs get all smelled up. Even if it has like a cherry or whatever, scent. Can't do it. Not going to do it. And that's not going to do it. Ruben Michaels is here. Good to see you. John Glad. Hey, thanks for coming on in. Robert Perez says, I think the smell of cigarettes and cigars stinks worse than weed to me. I would probably agree with that. I would tend to agree with that, but I can see how weed smells can be upsetting to people who don't smoke. It doesn't bother me too much, but there's sometimes where it could be a bit much. And you're like, oh my God. Sandy Fold says the lady next door smokes that crap in front of her kids. Demon Dog's cigarette smell makes me nauseous, and I smoked for 25 years. Problems with it, to be in public. There you go. That sounds responsible. Ruben Michaels, I smell pot everywhere. I guess I just don't get out much because I mean, I do smell it every now and then in certain places, um, but I don't really go out a lot, so I don't know. Belfast Bob, stop this! Stop this chat. Pot is illegal here, and I've been stabbed 4 times. I've PTSD. Now I don't know if you're joking or being serious, but I feel bad for you for being stabbed 4 times, and I hope you be careful. I hope the people who did it got arrested. Damon Dog says, I only smoke in my house and occasionally in my truck if I'm traveling, even though I shouldn't smoke and drive. Be careful, Damon Dog. Be careful with that, man. Don't want to get a deuce, if you know what I mean. Um, David in Grand Prairie, Texas. I gotta go. I gotta go flat to communicate effectively. Um, I don't know. Wow, oh cannibalists. I don't know. Sandy Foltz says the Metro Pass is $37.50 if you show a half fare card. Wow, so we're joking. Belfast Bob says, yeah, Damon Dog, ICU required, artery severed, was worse, nearly bled out. Wow, Belfast Bob. That's pretty hairy, man. I'm glad you survived it. I'm going to skip some comments. Nick Rich says, no driver, no thanks. I've heard a lot of people say that when the conversations come up with some of my passengers because we'll see those little cars running around and then people will ask about them. And they're pretty much everyone has said, nope, nope, not going to do it. Sandy Foltz says, TJ, do you have a Medicare card, red, white, and blue card? You can use it for half fare card. I don't, although I should be eligible on my, well, I should probably get the ball rolling on it because I turned 65 in October. I'm sure I'm supposed to start doing stuff right now to get signed up for it, and I haven't, so I don't have one yet. And there probably are discounts on the transit here in Vegas for that. Probably, I haven't really looked at it, but that's a good idea. Um, David in Grand Prairie, Texas. TJ, have you ridden the subway? Well, they don't have a subway here. They do have the Vegas Loop, which is underground, but that's where they drive you around in Tesla cars. Um, I've only been to New York City one time, and didn't. I didn't take the subway. Um, so I don't think I've ever taken a subway. I was in D.C. once, and we took the metro, but I think that was all above ground for the most part, or there might have been some underground parts of it at the stations. It seems like the stations were kind of underground, if I remember. Maybe I don't know, but then it seems like most of the ride was above ground. So I guess no. I guess I could say no. I know LA has a subway. I've never taken the LA one either. Um, MJ Daniels says, I would love to see much more larger protests on the 4th, show what being America really means. Um, they've got some women's marches planned, I guess. I think we're going to see marches all the way until Trump is out. Uh, and I think the marches are going to get get bigger and bigger as they go. We'll see. We'll see. But I think they will continue to get bigger. Nick Rich says John can't tell when he's buffering; it's slowing him down. Um, yeah, I do see on my iPad that sometimes it looks like slow motion. And guys, I appreciate you letting me know, but there's nothing I can do about it. I don't believe there's anything I can do about it, unfortunately. But I do appreciate you letting me know because otherwise I might, like you said, I might not know exactly. And but just like so, if it gets really, 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 really bad, like really, really bad, then we might just have to end the show. You know. We just might have to. Yeah, Damon Dog says never around kids ever, as far as like smoking weed around them. W says agree about the kids. Don't want them dissolution too early. Let their peers do that. And also, I mean, I don't think secondhand smoke of any type, whether you're talking about weed or whether you're talking about cigarettes and tobacco, I don't think that's good around kids either. Yeah, Sandy says the smell of pot makes me sick. The guy upstairs smokes cigarettes, can't stand it. Um, I have asthma. See, so there are people that have health conditions like asthma. Did you guys ever think of that? But Sandy wants it to be made illegal. I don't. I don't think that's really a good idea. Maybe we should make more rules about where you can smoke or something, or how not to smoke within certain feet of people. I know it gets in your vents and all that kind of stuff if you're in an apartment. I don't think it should be made illegal. That will just reverse. That'll just make it where people are still going to do it, and then we have all the problems of this sort of disproportionate amount of when it comes to arrests and sentencing and the whole thing. So I'm not really in favor of going back to making it illegal. I think we need to find other solutions as far as you know that secondhand smoke issue is what it is. Sammy Carter says in the UK, over 65-year-olds get free bus pass and 3/4 off train fares. Yeah, I need to look on the website for our buses here and see what if they're. I'm sure they must have a senior thing. I don't think I guess I didn't even think about it because I always forget that I'm old until I try to actually do something, and then I'm like, oh god, I'm old. Or look in the mirror, but or look in this camera right here. Sandy Folds, how far is the airport from where you live? It's not very far. Do you hear the planes overhead? I'm right under one of the flight paths, just a couple miles from the airport. Mr. Bob Newell's here. I can't hear you, Mr. Bob Newell. Please don't call Trump a taco. I know it kind of like I love tacos. Tacos is one of my favorite foods, and now they're kind of ruining it for me. Don't ruin my favorite food for me, please. Damon Dog says sound is good on my end. Oh, from Mr. Bob Newell. Um, Sandy Folds, let's restart it. It's not that bad. WW says I backed up about a 1/4 inch, so not so much buffering. Damon's Dog says it's good now. TJ, video and sound good. Sammy Carter says, sadly, my government just confirmed Trump's unprecedented second state visit. We are already planning protests, sending support from London. Thank you, Sammy Carter. Thank you for your support. I think the entire world needs to let him know what an asshole he is, what an asshole we think he is. 56, Nick Rich, twat, 2 weeks again, Trump. Yeah. Caleb Ginnerig. Okay, can we call Trump taco tits? No. No, nothing with tacos. I like tacos. Don't ruin it. Don't ruin my taco eating experience for me. Mr. Babdul, do you like the July 4th hot dog eating contest? I don't. That one where they, that one guy always wins. He's a little tiny skinny guy, and somehow he eats like 100 hot dogs in 2 seconds. I think it's disgusting, and I'm not really into it. But if that's what they want to do, I know it's a great promotion for Nathan's hot dogs or whatever. But I think it's stupid. I think all that kind of eating because it's branched out. It's not just hot dogs. They do, but again, if that's what you like, that's what you're into, then more power to you. Sandy Foltz says the police said that you can't smoke cigarettes or weed in front of kids who are 17 or under, I guess. So I guess it just comes down to enforcement now, I guess. Roxanne Epstein, until you suffer from chronic pain, you don't understand the pros of cannabis. I do get that, and that's one of the main reasons I've always been in favor of legalizing cannabis and taking it off the schedule, whatever the schedule was, for the federal schedule of how they criminalize these things. I've always been in favor of it. I just don't like smelling it since I don't smoke it. I don't like being around where lots of it's being smoked because I don't want to smell like that. And the same thing goes for cigarettes. And I do think that people should be able to smoke cigarettes, but you got to do so responsibly. And I do understand that cannabis is very helpful in dealing with pain management instead of using pharmaceuticals. So I'm all for it. But I'm just saying, if you don't smoke, it could be kind of gross if you have to smell it. And maybe people should be a little considerate of that. And I'm not saying that you people in the chat aren't. I'm sure you all are very considerate. I just think there's a lot of people out in the world, the everyday world, who aren't trucklers, who aren't as considerate, probably. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I'm all for that. I'm all for cannabis and for the medicinal qualities of it. Damon Dog, I always consider people first. Even when I take photos of signs at protests, I ask people if it's all right if I post their photo on social media, which is very considerate of you. Although I don't think you have to if you're out in a public area, on public spaces, and where there's a very little or low expectation of privacy. But that's nice of you to do that. Rosanna's here, like number 30, 12:20. So I'm only 5 minutes behind. It's 12:30, hopefully p.m. Anyhow, Mr. Bob Newell, will you attend Jeff Bezos' wedding? I will not. William says, hello, everyone from Philly. From Philly. I have a senior trans pass. We ride for free here. I'll have to check into that. I might be on my 65th birthday. Maybe I'll be eligible for a free bus pass or something. I don't know. I'll have to look on the website for the bus here in town. Caleb Guillory, it's all about being considerate. I don't smoke in people's cars or homes, even if they do. I stand out of people's way and am aware if my smoke is blowing towards people. Be considerate. Thank you, Caleb Guillory. That's very nice of you. I appreciate your being considerate. I do appreciate that. Mr. Bablu, have you been in a hurricane? I have not. Sandy Foltz, my friend that moved out in Vegas, she got a job at the airport. I think it's a pretty nice airport, pretty busy, pretty nice one. Mad Mac says there's a guy in my MC. Not sure what an MC is. That smokes a vape whilst motorcycle club. Oh, that's right. Whilst riding, and I always smell that shit. Vape smoke has a smell. I told him to put some pot in his vape to give us all a buzz instead of cancer. AM says I started off the morning meditating and reading. I used to smoke a pack a day in my 20s. I haven't smoked in 30 years. Well, good for you. Good for quitting. I'm glad you quit. I don't think smoking tobacco is even worth it. You know. Says Josh, what happened to the first stream? I was driving when it cut out. Oh yeah, I accidentally hit the end button. I believe it was this finger right here is the culprit. This fat little chubby sausage finger right here. I think was the culprit. '56 Nick's Rich eating contests are for pigs. Well, especially, I mean, there's some, I don't want to put everyone in that light, but the ones that you see that are like the big competition ones, that are televised like on ESPN, they make like a sport out of it, and they're just shoveling hot dogs down their throat. It's just disgusting. I can't watch it. I mean, uh, I've seen a couple clips here and there, and I just turn away because I think it's just disgusting. Um, Mr. Babdul, have you been on a Caribbean cruise? I have not. AM says that's cool. William, I get senior discount when I use New Jersey Transit bus. I'm definitely going to look into that. Fancy, I almost called you Nancy. Fancy says Nick Rich blows his smokes everywhere. He shamelessly does it. And I keep telling him, no smoking in the lounge, the driver's lounge. You got to go outside if you're going to smoke. You got to be at least, I don't know, 50 feet away from the door. Mr. Bob Newell, have you met anyone famous? Yeah, I've met a few people here and there. Just, in passing, or it's with some of my background work, kind of met a few people. Sammy Carter says, TJ, as you just said, it's about respect. I smoke cigarettes, but my family don't, so I go outside the house and smoke. Good for you, Sammy Carter. I'm sure your family appreciates it. Belfast Bob, I met Jesus, but she was a letdown. You sure that wasn't Jesusicus or something? I don't know. Just forget I said that. Nick Rich says legal cannabis since October 17, 2018 in Canada there. In Canada there, hey. Less crime and lots of tax revenues. Olga Martinez is here. Hey, Olga, good to see you. Thanks for joining us here in the Old Drivers Lounge. Olga says cigarette butt flickers. That leader or type is like the inconsiderate secondhand smoker privilege attitude. The cost is borne by others. Yeah, use your ashtrays, people, or use those butt cans. WW met Walter Mondale. Ooh, must have been a big day for you. Caleb Guillory, I don't flick my butts either. You put it out, and there's literally garbage cans everywhere. Don't be a pig. I agree. Olga says quit is good and saves money. Yeah, you spend a lot of money on those cigarettes, don't you? So, yeah, that's a big expense you could do away with. Um, One Vision is here, coming in hot with I have 3 balls, the left ball, the right ball, and the ball in the middle. Okay. Boom. Rosanna says gin's settling down in Northern California. So far, I love the weather and I love the trees and flowers everywhere. Yeah, NoCal is pretty up there. WW, I don't mind the smell of most weed. I just don't like the skunky stuff. You don't like that skunk bud? Gin of the Base says Trucker John. Now it's the finger and not the stray eyebrow hairs. This time, ending the live stream accidentally. The stray eyebrow hairs, I don't think I've ever been guilty of that. So don't try to pin that on the poor little innocent eyebrow hairs. Fancy says I'm snitching on everyone today. Oh boy. She says you're next, Damon. Mr. Spock, I guess, with a little fun fact. Hopefully, it's a fact. I don't know. Just trusting you. But Mr. Spock says professional contest eaters eat cabbage to stretch their stomachs bigger. Really, cabbage does that? I mean, who knew? Apparently, these professional contest eaters. I guess that's why they're professionals or something. I'm going to skip over some of the fart talk. If you don't mind, I'll skip the fart talk. Sandy Folds, TJ, what date in October is your birthday? October 3rd. The best day of the year. It's the same day. What was I reading? Was it yesterday? It was October 3rd. What were we talking about? Something happened on October 3rd, but wasn't the same year. It was like 1947. Somebody did something, and I think that's also the official first day that Walt Disney World opened in Orlando was on October 3rd, and I think that was like 1970 or 71, something like that. Mr. Bubnell, you said, but. Sammy Carter, cigarette filters take 25 years to decompose and leave harmful chemicals. Fancy says they ate Trucker John's Little Debbie brownies. It wasn't fancy. Excuse moving forward. I grew up being force-fed cabbage, and now look at me. I have to. I will admit that I really don't think I've ever eaten very. I must have eaten cabbage maybe one time, and I found it to be probably really gross and disgusting. I don't think I've. I can't even remember eating cabbage. I mean, I think maybe I did because it's sort of a. Isn't that sort of a St. Patrick's Day thing where they eat? Is it pot roast and cabbage? I'll eat the pot roast. I ain't gonna eat the cabbage, and I think I did try some cabbage along with that at some point. I found it to be really gross and disgusting. So my stomach stretching Has nothing to do with the cabbage. It's all just carbs and shit. I guess I don't know. Fancy. I don't like the smell of cigars. They have a strong smell. I'm not really around cigar smokers all that much. I do know they're strong. Kind of, it's just one of those things. I kind of, you know, if I had to put up with it all the time, then I think I would get pissed or something. Um, but my older brother smokes cigars in his studio apartment. The white walls are all yellow after only a few years. Just think what it's doing to your inside of your lungs and your body. MJ Daniel says, "Light up, everybody! Join us in the celebration. Light up and be happy." Fancy says, "When Disneyland first opened, you had to dress up." Really? Fancy says, "Cabbage, yuck." Yeah, I'm not into cabbage. The Soulcraft. Hey, Soulcraft. Soulcraft's here. This is me dancing. Look at me. Look at me dancing. This is me when I'm playing the intro and my song comes on, and I'm doing this. Just in case you're wondering what I'm doing, this is what I'm doing. Soulcraft says, "Cabbage is like kryptonite to me." For me, I won't. But now, Nick Rich says cabbage rolls are great. I probably had cabbage. Now I think about it. If I get like a Chinese egg roll thing, I think there's cabbage in there. But there's like so much other stuff in there that I kind of can overlook it. One Vision, I like chow mein, but cabbage stinks worse than farts. Um, Mr. Hall, cabbage head, the kids in the hall. Sammy Carter says roast cabbage is great. Okay, all right. MJ Daniel says we usually add cabbage to soups and stews. Tastes fine like that. Yeah, I guess so. I could see maybe that. Yeah, maybe a little bit. You got to have a lot of other stuff around it to sort of drown it out. I think. The Soul Crafted. I never did. Jessica comes out like Pam J. $2 super sticker. Kudos to all that have quit smoking cigs. Thank you, Pam J. Yippee! Now, when I redid the stream, I couldn't do the for some reason the little gold button. There's like a goal. There's a little button you push if I'm going to start the goal. And for some reason, you know what? Oh, for some reason, I see. Am I not on the right page? Oh yeah, I'm not even on the right page. Okay, that's why I'm on the Fowler's Wrath page right now. I'm not even looking at it through the Trucker John one. But I wasn't able to put the goal in because I wasn't on the right page, and this thing is taking forever. It's so slow. That's probably why I didn't go back because I think it was so slow. Um, it's just a slow day, slow internet day. But thanks everybody for being here. I appreciate you guys refinding me. Um, After we had that little mishap. Okay, so now, oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, there's the goal button. I could do a goal. If we get it, we get it. If we don't, we don't. Um, all right, so there's the goal. Just for shits and giggles. 29 watching, 37 thumbs up. We are operating at a surplus. But you know what I say? You can never get too many thumbs ups. But thank you, Pam J, for that $2 super sticker. I appreciate you. David Dog, I love my homemade shrimp egg rolls. Those are probably good, huh? I think almost anything homemade, unless you're just terrible at making it, is usually really good. One Vision still buffering. Alrighty. If it gets really, 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 really super, 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 super bad, let me know, and we'll have to either end it or redo it or something. Damon Dog, thanks, Pam. I quit January 15th, 2008, using Shantix. Worked as advertised. Well, that's good to know that that shit actually works. Pam J says, I quit SIGs. After about 5 tries, I learned that I can have one does not work. It takes a while, but I don't think about them anymore. Yeah, if at first you notice the seed, try again, right? And I'm glad. Hey, Brooklyn SJU, you're here. So yeah, I got you. I took 3 classes at the gym. Brooklyn, do you see? Do you see the map over here? Where is it? Over here? You see the little map, the little voting map? And you see right over here the Brooklyn Borough. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. You guys helped get this guy over here. Wait, over there. Wait, over there. No, over. Well, this guy. Wait, it's not working. This guy. Here we go. There, you helped get that guy to win the primary, and you're going to get him. You're going to get him to win the general. So thank you, Brooklyn. Thank you, Brooklyn. Big Hook, Big Hook. The Big Canuck is here. He says 2 heads are better than 1, even if they are just cabbage. Okay. MJ Daniel, we make a pork stew with apple cider and get a bag of shredded coleslaw to put in it. Works great and saves a lot of cutting. Soulcraft. Now I'm craving pan. I usually get like orange chicken and maybe some sort of teriyaki beef type of a thing with the split the rice and the chow mein entree thingy. Now you're probably really craving it. WW says egg rolls are different everywhere you go. Everywhere you go, there you are. Wherever you go, there you are. Brooklyn says I sold Sudafed to Andrew Cuomo. You're the one. Damon Dog, yeah, I had weird dreams in vivid color. I like the side effect. Wow. Damon Dog coming in with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Goal number 1. Thank you, Damon Dog. Yippee. Big Hook, isn't a thumb up technically a 1-finger salute? I guess you could look at it that way. That's the kind I like. Damon Dog, goal number 2. Thank you, Damon Dog. Yippee! $1.99. Oh, thank you, Belfast Bell. Yippee from across the pond. Thank you. I don't know. But thank you. You guys are awesome. The Soulcraft says, I got the cheapest cure. You put your ashtray in a baby bottle. Really? Add water and shake. I guess you mean like contents of the ashtray. When craving, take a big sniff. It reprograms the mind with negative reinforcement. Maybe that would work for some. Maybe. Baby food jar. Oh, in a baby food jar. WW says used to smoke mostly to look cool. Never got Hook. Hook didn't like it like that much. I tried to smoke at a few times as a kid and in high school, and even in my 20s. Every now and then, I would smoke a cigarette, try to be cool, try to be one of the cool guys, cool kids. I just never could. I just could never do it. My lungs would not take the smoke. I would always cough and hack, and it burned. And I'm like, why do you guys do this? You guys are stupid. So thank God I never was able to really enjoy it, or because some people love it. I mean, they love it. and then they get hooked on it because nicotine, apparently, what they say, is even more addicting than heroin. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. But as well, you watch movies and they do make smoking look so cool, don't they? Those motherfuckers. It's not right, man. We all want to be cool. We all want to look cool. Brooklyn SJU says, "What's next for Andrew Cuomo? I bet he goes on Dancing with the Stars." Well, what I was telling him, this is what I was telling him, Brooklyn. Andrew, get the fuck out of politics. Get off your fucking power trip. You're done, son. I'm pretty sure you're a millionaire. Go enjoy your money. Go take trips across the world. You know, just go enjoy whatever time you have left on this planet. Stop with the power trip. At this point, it's just for a person like him, it's just a power trip, I believe. That's what I told him. I don't know if he's listening though. Andrew never listens to me. So I don't know. The Soulcraft says, "I just wanted to get baked. I knew SIGs wouldn't do it, so I skipped that." Well, that was kind of always my philosophy too. Like back in high school or whatever, I came to the conclusion like if I'm going to smoke, because even smoking pot I had a hard time doing, but I thought if I'm going to smoke and I'm going to endure all this pain in my lungs, I might as well get high. Um, Nick Rich, Big Hook, Big Hook wouldn't be dealing it since the other. Belfast Bob, 100% TJ. Correct the mundo. Correct the mundo. Correct the mundo. PGD 200 LBFB, the reason you're still alive. What's the reason I'm still alive? Because because I never got into smoking, maybe. That could be one of the reasons why I'm still alive. WW says, somebody said that Cuomo is still mulling over an independent run. Yes, I said that. That someone that you heard was me. Because I already said that. That he might do a workaround of losing the primary by starting a whole new party, which I think is. I mean, I guess parties have the right to exist and to create parties, but it doesn't seem right with me that if you lose the primary, then you can just make your own party. I mean, there should be some kind of a serious process to go through. Maybe there is. But yeah, he's mulling it over. But whether or not he does that or not, I don't think it's going to matter. I think this Zoran Mamdani is going to win the general election, regardless if Cuomo goes back into it through this independent route. Eric Adams, he's disgraced. I don't think anyone in New York likes him. They shouldn't. He's a piece of shit. And I think the Curtis Sliwa, he's a Republican. He's a right-wing nut job. And I don't think New Yorkers are quite. There's not enough of them so I don't think he's going to win that. But we'll see. I mean, that's why we have elections, and hopefully everything's all free and fair and all that good stuff. Yeah, Fancy says he wants to create a new party, I heard. Yeah, you heard it from here. You heard it right here, Trucker John channel. Pam J says, both my parents smoked when I was born. Mom quit when I was about 3, but Dad didn't. Grew up in a house full of smoke at night. Mine smoke outside, I think. I don't know. I'm trying to remember if he may have smoked in the house a little bit, but I mean, he was a smoker, but he wasn't like a 2-pack a day type of smoker. But I know he would smoke every day, from what I remember. Because I was really young. Because then he quit. Because then he got cancer, and my dad was really pretty young. My dad was only about 30, I think, when he got cancer. And then as soon as he got diagnosed, you need to stop smoking. especially when you're going through treatments and stuff. And he had surgery and all that. He quit smoking, and he never smoked again. So that was in about 1968, 69, something like that. And he just quit pretty much cold turkey. There was no patches back then. I don't think there was none of that. There was no Santrix or anything. I think he just quit because he was facing cancer and he was 30 years old and he didn't want to die, and he just quit and never smoked again. And he lived another 44 years or something, and got cancer again, and then that got him. But it wasn't because of smoking. It was fucking prostate cancer or some bullshit. I hate cancer. Anyhow, Francis says my mom smoked a lot. MJ Daniel, my mother went to high school and college in the 50s when they let them hand out cigarettes to students. Oh, we had a smoking area. We've talked about this before. Our high school campus had it was an outdoor smoking area. Basically, it was this big dirt lot that was between the gymnasium, and then we had on the other side we had like some buildings. It was like the weight room. It was like and in between that was this big dirt field. They just kept it dirt because we did have another quad area that was grass, but the smoking area was dirt. And talk about cigarette butts. Everyone would just flick their cigarette butts there. So that whole dirt lot was just completely full of cigarette butts. And then every now and then, I think maintenance or whatever would rake them up or something. But and that was completely allowed. You could smoke as long as you were in the smoking area. And I remember hanging out with some of my friends every now and then. I really didn't smoke. Maybe every now and then I would take a drag off someone's cigarette just to be sociable. But I just hung out with my friends, and it was completely allowed, but you had to be in the smoking area. You couldn't be anywhere else to smoke. Damon Dog's still alive. I'm shocked I made it this far. MJ Daniel says I would sometimes ask a friend for a cigarette when I got too drunk, but never could finish it. Just nasty. WW says laughing out loud. My mom went to college at a Dutch Reformed school. No smoking, no dancing, no movies, no makeup. Man, it's like dirty. No, what's the Kevin Bacon movie? That dancing movie. David Dog says it's weird to be the same age as old people. Mad Max says, "Yo, Brooklyn, hey, real Brooklyn, it's hot, hun. Are you?" Although I think Mad Mac might have said, "Yo, Brooklyn." I don't know. Anyhow, it's hot, hun. Are you able to stay cool? The Soulcraft says L. Ron Hubbard wrote, "You should smoke more to avoid cancer." Laughing out loud, seriously, and look at a picture of his teeth. If that doesn't tell you about Scientology being a bunch of shit, then nothing will, I guess. MJ Daniel says, I think New York has had enough of the Cuomos. I think so. I think you're right. PTG 200 LBFB says, I was under peer pressure to smoke at 12. Yeah, there's some of that peer pressure for sure. I mean, I guess I felt that a little bit because every now and then I would try to smoke. I would give it a shot, but it just never stuck with me. WW, not that we don't trust you, John. Oh, trust me. Nick Ridge, Scientology is a cult? Yes, it is. Brooklyn SJU says, Andrew changed the name of the Tappan Zee Bridge to the Mario Cuomo Bridge. Can you believe that? You kidding me? You kidding me? The Soulcraft says they were smoking on airplanes back then. Oh, yeah. I remember smoke at football games and movie theaters. Oh yeah, it was everywhere. Restaurants. And this is before. Remember, they for a while it was like, and I guess some states still do it where they have non-smoking areas, but the whole rest of the restaurant is smoking. So it's kind of ridiculous because the smoke will just waft on over to your where you're at anyhow. Now, over the years, maybe they've developed better air filtration systems or whatever. But I can remember being in restaurants, we're eating, and then the table next to us, all of a sudden, someone would light up, and there you are. And there wasn't a goddamn thing you could do about it. You know, it was completely legal, and you know, everyone did it. Like even then, I can remember my dad still probably smoked, or maybe he had quit. But I remember we were at a restaurant, I must have been about 8 or 9 years old. Um, and that's right around when my dad first got sick. But so I don't remember if he had quit or not. But I can remember being at a restaurant, and all of a sudden, a guy at the table just right next to, we were sitting at a table, kind of in the middle, I think, of the restaurant. And the guy, there was a family at another table, and this guy lights up a cigarette, and his smoke just came right across our table. And I remember me and my mom and dad, we all just sort of like looked at each other, like, uh, we were shaking our heads like this, like, but there was nothing you could do because it was completely legal, and so you couldn't complain, and there's no sense in moving because you're probably the person on the other side was probably going to light up. Jolie with a $5 super chat. Just need one more. Thank you, Jolie. You're so sweet. Thank you so much. $5 super chat. Our mod getting in on the action. You do enough as it is, Jolie. You don't need to do more. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yippee to Jolie. Did I say yippee? Yippee to Jolie. Mad Max says, "Stop it, stop it. Haha, glad you are cooling yourself down with ice cubes." Laughing out loud. Did I miss Brooklyn? Did Brooklyn? Oh, Brooklyn. Andrew Chan. Oh, I read that one. Hugging ice. Oh, Brooklyn. I'm hugging ice through my body. Yeah, that's right. That's the thing. Hopefully that AC will get in pretty soon. WW333 number 5. Thank you, WW. Yippee! We made the goal. We made our daily goal. Thank you so much. I'm just looking at the time. It's been we're not quite at 2 hours. I mean total with the two combined. I don't want to go too long because yesterday the show just quit. It just died because the phone died. But today I did start off at 100% battery. And yesterday I think I only started off with like 80%, or maybe even less, maybe 79%. And we got uh, about 2 hours, almost 2 hours and 20 minutes, I think, out of let's just say 80%. So at 100%, going by that, I should be able to get at least 2.5 hours. But anyhow, I think we are probably right around pretty close to 2 hours now. What time? Well, I didn't actually get started until about 20 after the hour. So I think we've got maybe about 20 more minutes before we get to 2 hours. But it's up to you guys. If you think if I should stop now, it's 1 o'clock. If you guys are getting tired of me, if there's another show you want to go off to, maybe I should end the show. I don't know, or we can go another 20 minutes. It's up to you guys. You guys, let me know. Let me know in the chat. Should we keep going for another 15, 20 minutes, or should we call it a day? I'll leave it completely up to you guys. WW, all guys get prostate cancer if they live long enough. Yeah, but my dad got it when he was only like 71 or 2, and yeah, once you're in your mid 80s or your then that's one thing, you know. I think my dad was really robbed out of probably a good 10 years of good healthy living because he was. Other than that, my dad was strong and healthy. Other than that goddamn cancer that got him. Jolie, member for 16 months. Yippee to Jolie. Thank you so much for being a member pretty much from the beginning of this show. Thank you so much, Jolie. I appreciate you so much for all you've done. Brooklyn says big blocks of ice from the box. Factor food prepared meals come in. Oh yeah, I did that. I did that one time, or maybe for a week or whatever. I got a few meals from that Factor. Yeah, and it comes in the big box, and it's wrapped up in that big like foam thing. It's really kind of cool. It's kind of a cool box. You could almost use that box as like a cooler chest, you know. But yeah, that you could use that. Yeah, AM says, "Congrats, Joey, on your 16-month membership." Absolutely. Footloose, yeah, Footloose. Uh, that's how far behind I am in the chat. At least 10 minutes ago, I was trying to reference that movie, and I couldn't remember the name of it. Mad Mac, hey, I don't sound like Mickey Mouse. Sorry, Mad Mac. I didn't mean it like that. I was just imagining that. Even though you live in Seattle, I think you're English, and maybe you have an English accent. And I'm sorry if my English accent sounded like Mickey Mouse. I don't want to mess with you. You're in a motorcycle club, so you know. Sandy Foltz says my ex neighbor used to be my alarm clock. He used to gag. He was a heavy smoker. Oh my gosh. See, that's another thing. These smokers, they hack out a lung, and then they light up another cigarette. You know, it's addicting. It's an addiction, folks. It's not good for you. You don't need it. Get it off of them. Like I say, if you're gonna smoke, at least just smoke pot. At least you get a high out of it, and you might get some sort of medicinal quality out of it. You know. Josh says, "Okay, I'm home. I can chat now." Um, WW says, "I mostly smoked. If there were other smokers around, their smoking wouldn't bother me so much if I was smoking too." Yeah, can't beat them, join them. Caleb Guillory, they were smoking on the Hindenburg. See how unhealthy it is? Josh says the irony of the smoking conversation is that I went to the reservation for cigarettes, among other errands. Um, yeah, that is ironic. Nick Rich says they allowed smoking in hospitals up until the 80s. Remember Forrest Gump? You guys have seen Forrest Gump, and the doctor was like, examining little Forrest Gump, and he's got a cigarette dangling out of his mouth, and I think that happened. Hi, Mike H. Hey, there's Mike H. Good to see you. Haven't seen Mike H. in a while. Thanks for coming on in, hanging out with us for a little bit. Damon Doug, I smoked on an airplane in December 1984. That's when I got out of the Army. Easy date to remember. The Soulcraft says, even now my dad will slip in tobacco pouches, and he quit 25 years ago. Tobacco pouches or tobacco patches? Because I knew they have those pouches, like for chewing tobacco type of a deal. I guess you don't really chew on it; you just put them in your mouth and let it give your mouth cancer. WW says my sister was a flight attendant when people could smoke on a plane. She smelled terrible by the time they landed. Oh yeah, anytime you would go out, like I remember my dad was in bowling leagues, and I would go. This is when I was a little kid, before I got into bowling leagues when I was older. But you go to the bowling alley, and then you come home at night, and your clothes are just disgusting. You could smell the cigarettes on your clothes, and uh, or if Or if I didn't go, especially if I didn't go, you really smell it when they would come home. My parents would come home and they smelling like cigarettes. And like I said, my dad quit smoking in 1969 probably. So even in the 70s, like when I was a little older and I would stay home, and I was in even like sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, they would go out bowling or whatever, and I would just stay home. And they would come home and just smelling awful. And my parents didn't smoke. They would just bring that back in with them. And it was really gross. Because everywhere you would go, bars and everything, be smoking. PDG 200 LBFB, smoking is gross. My dad smoked 4 packs a day. Is that like 80 cigarettes? Is a pack 20? How many is in a pack? Your standard pack of cigarettes. Oh my God, he's just a stovepipe. That is a chain smoker, right? Just one after the other. Rosanna, you $9.99 coming in after the goal. Thank you. An after goal. Yippee, Rosanna, you're awesome. $9.99 with the big heart and I don't know if that's supposed to be a cat or what, but little wagging its little tail with the heart, which is a universal symbol for love. So thank you so much, Rosanna. I appreciate you for that. Josh says, if I didn't live near the reservation, I couldn't afford to smoke. Josh, quit smoking, please. Brooklyn says, keep going. I came in late. Kimchi says, no, I just got here. No. Hey, Kimchi. Well, there's probably never going to be a bell. Hopefully, that's supposed to work. That's supposed to send it to your email address or something. So that's between you and YouTube. I don't know why it doesn't give you notifications, but if you've hit the notification bell, there's a little bell, right? A little symbol for a bell. Hit that. That should give you notification. Anyhow, Brooklyn and Kimchi are saying no. Mike H says go to 420. Damon Dog says 20 minutes will be 420. Mad Max says, we thought TJ pissed you off, and that's why you weren't here. Glad to see you at Mike H. WW, I don't think that works for most folks either, Damon Dog, but my doctor told me to take every third night off from alcohol. Right now, I'm on my third day of 4. I guess if you're having health issues because of alcohol or whatever, I guess it's better than nothing. Taking off every third night is better than nothing. I don't know. Pam J says, my dad smoked 3 packs a day. He'd send us down to the corner grocery with 25 cents to get him a pack of Kents. Wow. 25 cents. I bet those are the days. I bet you smokers are long. I think I get it. WW, I'll buy some beer and vodka on Friday. Kimchi, remember for 15 months, yippee! Kimchi, formerly it est something. I forget what it was now. Kimchi, thank you so much, Kimchi, for being a long-time member. Yippee to you. I'm going to say yippee again. Kimchi, the goddess. Thank you for being here. Josh says, I'm between 1 and 2 packs a day, depending on how stressed I am. Well, I don't know your life. I don't know your situation. I wish there was another way you could handle your stress other than cigarettes. Yeah, Jolie says, yippee, happy truck anniversary. Yes, happy truck anniversary to both of you, Kimchi and Jolie. WW says his parents never smoked nor drank. Dad still had a heart attack in his 60s. Well, there are other causes for heart attacks. It's just smoking is one of the things that is bad for your heart. hardens the arteries and all that kind of stuff, I guess. WW mom lived to be 82. She was dying, but she was dying my whole life. Mad Max says if you smoke after having sex, you are doing it too fast. But about Damon Dog, I've never heard of it. And every 3-day abstinence. Me either, but hey, I guess if it's better than nothing. Sandy Foltz says Cuomo and Trump both suck. I agree. And one's a Democrat and one's a Republican. But I'm not saying that both sides are the same. They're not. But Cuomo sucks. But let's just say Cuomo won, and it came down between him and Sliwa. And I guess you would throw Adams in there too. Out of those three, I would vote for Cuomo. You know what I mean? That's when it really becomes a lesser of evils, a lesser of three evils. If it was Curtis Sliwa or Slimebag, whatever his name is, I would vote for Cuomo, hands down, without a doubt. So I'm just glad Zohran Mamdani won, because I think he's good. I mean, from what I've seen of his campaigning, his platform, his ideology, I like it. Am I 100%? Probably not. I mean, I don't know. I don't know enough to say what percentage I lie on, but I would be willing to bet I'm probably aligned with his ideology or his positions that he's taken. I probably align on 95% of them. But I'm just saying, if it was between those three, Sliwa and Adams and Cuomo, I would vote for Cuomo without a doubt, without any hesitation. John Deff, I had a cousin die of lung cancer who never smoked. That happens. Yeah, you can get lung cancer from other things. These diseases aren't just caused by one thing. But smoking, if you do smoke, it just increases your odds of getting cancer exponentially. Okay, so you can say I had a cousin who never smoked and got cancer, and then yeah, that happens. Or my dad got a heart attack. He never smoked, or he never did this, never did that. Yeah, not smoking, not drinking isn't going to make you impervious or to all diseases. But those things increase your odds of getting those things. Mad Mac, I remember the anti-smoking film in high school that showed a guy in a hospital bed smoking out of his hole in his throat. Yeah, that was like a PSA thing that they would show on TV too. A little bit of that. Diane Russell's here. Hey, Diane, good to see you. Thanks for joining us today in the driver's lounge. Says, wonder if it was something environmental. Brooklyn. Did I miss Brooklyn's? My father didn't smoke or drink, but got cancer at 33 and died at 36 because life sucks. Yeah, that's so sad. That's so sad. Your dad died at such a young age, and you were so young. That is really horrible. But like I said, sometimes I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what your dad did for work. Maybe there was something where he worked that he was breathing in or something. You just never know. You just never know. But like I said, smoking does just increase the odds of you getting cancer like exponentially. Kimchi says nicotine is more addictive than heroin. In fact, and I already mentioned that earlier, but you came in late. Mike H says, I wish I could have turned my lungs inside out when I used to smoke. I'm glad that you said used to smoke, because I'm assuming you don't smoke anymore, and that is a good thing. Even if you smoked for 30 years or 40 years and you quit, every day that you quit, you're just helping yourself. You're improving your health. Nick Rich, refill required. Gonna grab a cookie. Okay, I got you. I got you. John Depp, I had a cousin. Oh yeah, I think I already read that one. I must have. I guess I went back to look at Brooklyn's post. Um, MJ Danny, the movie Airplane has a smoking and non-smoking joke. Um, PMJ, many of the old black and white movies can double as cigarette commercials. Um, I'm just skipping down a little bit here. Josh, didn't they used to have doctors endorsing various cigarette brands? I've seen some old ads about that. I think back in the 40s and 50s, like they tried to say it was healthy and it was a good way to get energy or some bullshit. Um, Sandy Folt's gone for 20 minutes. Yes, 4 packs is 80 cigarettes. Wow. So I forget who mentioned it, but their dad was smoking 80 cigarettes a day. That is just, man, crazy. Diane Russell says, I have a friend who's dying of pulmonary fibrosis. His brother also died of it. They both grew up in smoggy Los Angeles and both smoked for over 20 years. So that's like a double whammy. Breathing smog and smoking. Brooklyn says Jackie Gleason smoked 5 packs a day. That's 100 cigarettes. That's crazy. Diane Russell, nicotine is more addictive than cocaine. It's more addictive than heroin, too. What's more addictive, cocaine or heroin? Since we're on the subject. I always just thought heroin was more addictive. Cocaine might be more addictive than heroin. Although I have tried cocaine and I've never tried heroin. And I did cocaine, you know, more than once. But I never got addicted to it. So I don't know. I've heard that if you shoot up a heroin one time and you could be addicted. So anyhow, enough cocaine talk. Let's get back to pot talk. Out of the drugs, I would much prefer pot talk over cocaine talk or heroin talk. Although it is, I mean, I'm just kidding. I mean, we talk about the dangers and the of these things, and I think that's important. And you uh, Jolie says I had a friend quit smoking by swapping out joints for his cigarettes. It worked, but man, was he really high all the time. Yeah, if you're smoking pot at that same kind of rate, you know, but because like cigarette smokers can be chain smokers. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I would suggest that. Or WW says bugging people to stop smoking or drinking is like the worst way to try to get them to quit. Well, it's like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. I guess. What is so? But at the end of the day, you're right. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So, but what do you do? Belfast Bob says, "Great thing. I'm still in UK, but cross border. I'm in Ire now, Europe. So ferry from Dublin to Wales, duty free 1 liter of spirits, 1 24 pack beer, 250 grams, whatever that is, bacon. No, or 200 cigarettes. Okay, it's good shopping trip there, I guess. Stocking up." Diane Russell, I can't spell this, the smell of cigarettes yet. Yeah, we've already gone through the whole smell thing, Diane. Is it just because there's like no tax stamp or something? Or uh, Kimchi says, "I wish drunk people were half as Denigrated? I mean, I drink a beer every now and then. I've got a bottle of cognac sitting in my cupboard that I'm going to drink someday. I don't think I'm addicted to alcohol. If I were, I would be drinking every day. I think I can't remember the last time I had a beer. It was probably a few weeks ago or something. I don't know. Nick Rich says my cousin's but 200 smokes in a bag on the res for $13. Wow. So here we are. People talking about their smoking experiences. David Dog Cuomo used a Republican tactic by mispronouncing his name on purpose. I guess I'm mispronouncing a name, but it's not on purpose. Zoran Mandani. I have to look at it. Zoran Mamdani. Right? It's probably Mamdani or Mamdani. Yeah, Mamdani. I'm not doing it on purpose though. I'm just stupid. Um, I'm just skipping down. Probably going to. Brooklyn says Robbie Schumer just died, 81 from cancer. Uh, she just posted a video yesterday. It just said I think the title was like Bobby Sherman. I don't know, rest in peace or something. And it was an old clip when she used to do the Mark and Brian radio show in L.A. back in the early '90s. And the opening of that clip, it had Bobby Sherman was there. Mark and Brian, if you don't know, they're just sort of like radio, kind of like shock jocks, and they had the early morning zoo, whatever radio show in the morning. And they were funny. I used to listen to them all the time. I used to listen to Nicole. She was the producer, and she was on the air a lot. She did a lot of things because they would do these things out of the studio, like really fun things. And this one thing that she posted, I think they were at. It looked like I don't know if that was Anaheim Stadium or whatever, but they had it set up for an off-road, a Mickey Thompson off-road show or races and stuff inside. They would do that inside stadiums. They set it up and make it all dirt track and everything. And the opening of her clip was Bobby Sherman was there, and he kind of led the crowd in singing. What was it, God Bless America or whatever? I forget. And then it just goes into showing Nicole racing this guy that was his name was Scott. And I can't remember his last name, but I know him as the Sky Lord, and that he was the Sky Lord because he was the guy who was the helicopter pilot for the local ABC News affiliate, and he would do the traffic reports and anything that they needed a helicopter for. And KLOS was owned by ABC, and they had a connection there, or that's how they got to know Skylord because Skylord would do traffic reports. They included him on his show a lot. Anyhow, Skylord and Nicole they did a race on that clip. It was really cool of these off-road vehicles, and they did this really cool about a 3 or 4 lap race, and Nicole won. Anyhow, but they died of cancer apparently. 81 years old. Bobby Sherman, if you guys that were around, in the late '60s, or maybe into the early '70s, he was one of those heartthrob teen beat magazine, whatever. He was up there with David Cassidy and Sean Cassidy, and Bobby Sherman. Who else was it? All those little heartthrob, those little teen girl heartthrob, and he had a couple of hit songs. And then he went on, and after he was kind of aged out of that and his career, went into becoming an EMT. I believe. I believe he was a paramedic. So you could be in LA, and if you had some emergency happen, you might have been treated by Bobby Sherman. So anyhow, rest in peace, Bobby Sherman. It seems like he was a really great guy. Um, and yeah, rest in peace, Bobby. Just skipping on down here a little bit. Damon Dog, TJ, Coke versus pot. Well, you know, I would take pot over Coke any day. I haven't snorted Coke in 40 years probably, and I have no intention of ever. That's a hell of a drug. Coke, whatever. What's the joke? It's a hell of a drug. Uh, but I've had edibles as recently as I don't remember if it was early this year or if maybe it was last fall or last year. I've had some edibles that people gave to me. And I smoked some weed. Remember on the live stream. I guess that was a year ago, probably. That's probably the last time I think I smoked any weed. But I'll do that. But I'm not going back to cocaine. And I'm never going to try heroin. I don't think I'm going to try that. I don't believe. But never count it out. I don't know. AM says heroin has an opioid making more addictive than cocaine. I believe that. I think that's right. I think that's probably right. Fancy says I used to burn incense, but I found out that it's not healthy to breathe. I think probably any kind of smoke you're ingesting is not good, even marijuana smoke. I don't think it's as unhealthy though as cigarette. I think cigarettes, they put all kinds of fucking chemicals in those cigarettes. Besides just the nicotine factor. Diane, sorry, I missed the smoke. I know. I mean, I when I said that, I didn't mean that as like a put down on you for mentioning it. But so I didn't mean to do that. So Aaron, I realize both you and Jolie, you have schedules and work and families and here wholeheartedly. Fancy says that will be fun to hear, Josh. I'm just sort of cherry picking some stuff here. Soulcraft, I get these orange creamsicle candles that are amazing. Josh, welcome to the Skipping Down live stream. Yeah, I'm skipping down. I am skipping down. Because we're about to end the show. Brooklyn says Donny Osmond was a teenager. Yeah, Donny Osmond was one of those. Kimchi, rest in peace, Bobby. Josh says Damon, that's a certainty. About someone coming up with a childless nickname. Oh wow, really skipped. Jolie says you smoked so much weed. I did. I kind of thought I could just pick up where I left off in 1979 or something, and I was hitting it hard, and I got fucking wasted very quickly. That was the first joint I smoked. I don't know, 30 years or something. And I was just going at it like I thought I was 25, at a party with all my friends, and I just probably did a little too much too soon or something. David Dog says, I agree, TJ. I could never do heroin. Fuck no. Brooklyn says, TJ, stay out of the gully and off the heroin. Right. The heroin would probably get me in the gully. I think probably all those folks that are in the gully, by the way, and this is probably really judgmental of me, but it's probably more drug related than it is just finance related. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's a whole other thing for a whole other show. And I've got to, I don't want to go too much on that. Soulcraft says edibles are hit and miss with me too, except when I do my own can of butter. You get insane munchies from it. Aaron West, Trucker John has channel memberships, super chats. You can also support the show by liking, subscribing, and sharing. And you can also buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com. That's the link. Thank you so much for putting that in there. Brooklyn, now I want potato salad. Bam J says, Mr. Smoke too much? I think so. I think I did. Kimchi says it was completely adorable, the TJ. Can't wait to hang with you. Yeah, we're going to smoke out, man. Me and Kimchi, we're going to get high together someday. I predict it. I'm predicting it. It's like, I want to party with you, man. You and the cow. I want to party with you, man. What movie did I just reference? Is there anybody that picked up on the movie reference? Let me know in the chat if you picked up on that movie reference. WW, I just made a meat and mushroom sauce. Ended up pretty good. Pam J, I'll keep up with you. Kimchi says, yeah, but that is even more sad on drug and no one cares. On drugs and no one cares. Yeah, yeah. Belfast Bob, I do concur. Half white, half brown is orgasmic. I must be mid-thread. Don't know what that one's about. So craft, I've been trying to hold on till after dinner lately, or THC night. I don't know. Anyhow, guys, W's going to make a run to the dispensary. I hope I haven't started a whole thing, or everyone's either going to go buy some drugs, or everyone just wants to. Either we're all hungry from all the food talk, or we're jonesing now to go get high. I don't know. Damon Dog, TG and Kimchi live stream party. Absolutely, we'll live stream it. Pam J says, steamed potatoes, boil eggs, cooking's done, grate the onion, and other good stuff like that. Let's see here. Everything's going slow today on the old internet. But here we go. Hey, what's all this talk? All you pot smokers, all I got to say is keep your grubby paws off me. When you guys get the munchies, I can see you guys, your mouth start drooling, you're looking at me and thinking, God, that cookie looks good. I know what you're thinking. So all I got to say is hands off the old cookie, all right? I ain't here for your munchies. Go get some brownies or something, but you leave the cookies alone. The entire cookie family, you leave us alone. All right? We're not here for your munchies, all right? But speaking of which, I got to go get high now, so all right. Oh, man, I was just getting high over thing. Trucker John motioned for me to come over, so you kind of caught me in between. I'm in between right now. Anyway, enjoy your day, guys. If you do get high, though, do it responsibly. All right, just do it responsibly. Don't operate any heavy machinery. All right, just be responsible and don't blow smoke in people's faces and stuff. We've learned. What have we learned today? People don't like your smoke in their faces. All right, and don't operate heavy machinery and just keep it cool, man. Just keep it cool. And let's not do heroin. I think that's what I got from today's show. I was listening. I was over on the couch just listening. I got a little buzzed. I got to admit it. But and don't worry, I was blowing all the smoke out the window. Trucker John didn't even know. That's how good I was being. But yeah, just so be careful, folks. Just be careful out there. All right. All right. So those guys came in. And also, I just want to say thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you for all the likes, the subscribes, the sharing. Thank you for the donos, as they like to say. We had, let's see, I'll go over the fan. They call it, on the app here, they call it fan funding. So I'm going to look at the fan funding. I'm going to plug in my iPad. It's getting down there, too. We had Pam J, $2 super sticker. Yippee. Damon Dog, $1.99 super sticker. Yippee to Damon Dog. Damon Dog coming in with another $1.99 super sticker. Yippee. Belfast Bob, £5 super chat. I guess a super chat. Belfast Bob, good. Thank you. Thank you, Bob. Jolie with a $5 super chat. Yippee to Jolie. WW coming in with a $3.33 super chat. Yippee to WW. Not sure where he comes up with these numbers, but it's aesthetically pleasing. Jolie, a member for 16 months. Thank you, Jolie. Yippee. Rosanna, $9.99 super sticker. Thank you, Rosanna, so much. Yippee to Rosanna. And Kimchi, being a member for 15 glorious months. Thank you, Kimchi. Yippee. So that was the fan funding for today. You guys are awesome. And all of you who liked and subscribed to the show and gave me the thumbs up. That's the like button. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for being here. We'll be here tomorrow again at 11 a.m. Tomorrow was what, Thursday? So we'll be here for Thursday's show. Yeah, I should be here, and we'll update things. And again, I just say thank you guys. Thank you so much for that. And let's make sure we all subscribe, and let's try to do whatever we can to get the word out and get other people to subscribe, because we are on our way to 6 million subscribers. That's right. We are. We're, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. So we are on our way, on our journey to 6 million subscribers, but I can't do it without you. So make sure you guys help to share and get the show out, I guess. I don't know. All right. So the Soulcraft said something about flavor. There's Jolie Sugar John, YouTube. Oh, there's the link to the. I guess that's the show where I got high. I wonder if I should cut out. Like if there's a section I should cut out where I'm really getting high, and redo that one, repost it or something. Kimchi 333. The ancestors are with you. Oh, okay. WW rounds out at 777. Rosanna, you can fry an egg on your car in Death Valley. Oh yeah, you can do that here probably pretty soon. Soul Craft's cold shower. Hit that shower. Hit the showers, everybody. Diane Russell, have a good rest of your day, everyone. Happy Global Beatles Day. Thank you, Diane. I love the Beatles. They're one of my favorite groups of all time, and I do think they are the most influential rock band in history. So I put them at number one, even though my favorite rock band of all time is Van Halen. I still put the Beatles at number one. So whatever that means. Sandy Folds, most jobs drug test people coli from Fast Times at Richmond High. Oh yeah, Spicoli. He's like, yeah, whatever. I don't know. All right, so all right, guys. James Hiramio, I guess, is here. Just someone saying hi to James. So hi, James, if you're here. Thanks for being here. We're checking out now. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna pull the plug before the plug pulls me. I'm just thinking that we got everything. We covered everything today. I think we got the thank yous in. We did the thing. We talked about all the stuff. We did a lot of pot talk today on Trucker John channel. And we talked about a lot of things, as we always do. We always do cover a lot of things, I think. So, and I enjoyed being here, guys. Thanks for, and I enjoy having you guys here. You guys make the show. You really do. All right, guys. That's it today. But words of wisdom. We can't forget the words of wisdom. Trucker John's daily words of wisdom. This is where you guys get to write something down. Get a pad. Get your Sharpie. Your Trump Sharpie. I'm surprised Trump isn't selling Sharpies. Anyhow, whatever it is you use, crayons, pencils, whatever, write this down. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Today's words of wisdom are to
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant. couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid. But doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, it's time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again.
Trucker John, on the road he rides, live streaming all through the nights. From politics to pop culture he speaks. No topic is off limits, nothing is weak. From Vegas to the highways, he'll never tire. Shouting about food, talking about desire. He's the rebel of the asphalt, the king of the night. With a microphone in his hand, he's ready to ignite. Freedom is his fuel, passion in his soul. Gotta express himself, gotta take control. Moving through the country, keeping it real, no filter, no holding back, nothing to conceal.
Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food, the movies and bugs. Shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. My apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free.